Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to basically pull apart your sources and give you the key insights, fast. Today, we're looking at something kind of invisible, the energy cost behind every AI click you make. It's about this exploding digital carbon footprint and one platform trying to, well, tackle it.
Exactly. AI is weaving itself into everything we do online, and the environmental side effects, they're getting pretty hard to ignore. We've got an overview deck, some platform details, and even a third-party review from Grok 4 to work with. So our goal is basically twofold. First, really get a handle on just how much energy AI is sucking up, and second, figure out how this specific platform, myAiOffset, actually works to balance things out, make AI sustainable.
Okay, and let's nail the pronunciation right off the bat, because the sources mention this. It's myAiOffset, with the emphasis on the AI. It's not just any offset tool, it's specifically targeting the artificial intelligence footprint.
myAiOffset. Got it. Good point. And that specificity is important given the sheer scale we're talking about. Let's dive into that challenge first, because the numbers and the sources are, well, they really make you blink.
Yeah, we tend to think digital stuff is clean, right? But behind the screen, you've got massive data centers, cooling, it's industrial. So here's the first kind of shocking stat. Training just one large language model that can pump out as much carbon as 5 cars, not driving them for a year over their entire lifespan. And that's just the training part, before we even use it day to day.
And that's where the scale thing really hits you, the exponential growth. If one model costs that much to train, think about the buildup as AI gets into, writing your emails, generating images, analyzing data. The deck specifically says this cumulative impact, it's growing, like geometrically, not just adding up, but multiplying.
And looking ahead, the Grok 4 review paints a pretty stark picture. If AI keeps gobbling energy like this, its global demand could rival the entire aviation industry by 2030.
The whole airline industry.
Yeah. That's a massive environmental footprint created in, barely a decade?
It really injects a sense of urgency, doesn't it? The Grok 4 reviewer put it bluntly. Tools like this one, myAiOffset, they're, and I quote, not just cute, it's crucial. It feels like we're at a point where responsible growth isn't optional anymore.
Right, and that urgency makes the origin story of myAiOffset quite interesting. It wasn't cooked up in some lab. It apparently started from a conversation the founder, Jared Clark, had with his niece. She's 16.
Yeah, it's a great example of how, big ideas can come from simple questions. The sources say the niece basically asked him, hey, everyone uses AI now, but nobody talks about what it costs the planet.
Wow.
It's a pretty heavy question, right? Especially from someone who's going to inherit whatever climate mess we leave behind. Absolutely,
and that really frames their whole mission, doesn't it? It's about giving people, and companies too, the tools to actually see their AI carbon footprint and then, do something about it. They want AI and environmental responsibility to coexist. The platform even encourages you to AI responsibly.
But good intentions aren't enough right now. You need solid mechanics. And they seem to have this clear 4-step process. Track your usage, calculate the impact, purchase offsets, and then boom, carbon neutrality.
Okay, that sounds straightforward. Track, calculate, offset. But hang on. There are so many different AI models out there now. How can one platform possibly track usage accurately across all of them? Seems like a huge challenge.
That's definitely a key question. And according to the deck, their tracking is pretty broad. They say it covers over 50 AI models, not just the usual suspects like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, but also newer ones, things like Llama, even upcoming stuff, Claude 3.5, Gemini 2.0.
Okay, so it handles text models, but what about the really heavy stuff, like making images or videos? That must use way more power.
Exactly. And they seem to cover that too. The sources list image generators like Daily, Midjourney, video models like Sora and Runway, even music AI like Suno and Udio. All of these have different energy demands, and apparently they're all trackable within the system.
All right, so the tracking scope is wide. How do they actually figure out the impact, though? It mentions tracking based on session duration, model type, and tokens used. What exactly are tokens in this context?
Tokens. Think of them as like the basic building blocks the AI processes. Could be a word, part of a word, even punctuation. Basically, the more tokens your request involves, say asking for a really long essay versus a short sentence, the more computational work the AI has to do.
Got it.
So tracking tokens used, along with which model you used and how long you used it, lets them estimate the energy consumption much more precisely. They use industry research and real-world data for this.
Okay, precision sounds good, but if calculating my carbon footprint takes ages every time I use AI, I'm going to turn it off, Carbon calculation fatigue.
Totally valid point.
Yeah.
And that's something the Grok 4 review specifically tested. Speed. They simulated a heavy coding session, called it a Grok 4 extended code session, whatever that means exactly.
Yeah.
And the platform calculated the carbon impact in under 2 seconds.
Under 2 seconds. Okay, that's fast.
Yeah, incredibly fast. And that speed is probably essential. If it's seamless, you don't even notice the accounting happening. It just works.
Right, that low friction is key. So once you've got that quick calculation, the next step is offsetting. Let's talk about the carbon credits themselves. The offset market can be kind of murky. How do we know these are legitimate projects?
Yeah.
What standards are they using?
That's crucial for credibility, absolutely. The sources are really clear on this. Every project they fund for offsets has to be certified by a well-known independent standard. They list the big ones: Gold Standard, Verified Carbon Standard, that's VCS Climate Action Reserve, and the American Carbon Registry.
Okay, those names sound official, but why should someone listening care if it's Gold Standard versus, say, Bob's Discount Carbon Credits? What's the difference?
Yeah. Well, these standards provide real rigor. Gold Standard, for instance, was co-founded by the WWF. They don't just look at carbon reduction, they also require projects to contribute to sustainable development, like helping local communities. VCS, run by Vera, is like the biggest standard globally. It ensures the carbon reductions are real, measurable, permanent.
Okay.
Having these 4 names attached means you're not just buying some vague promise, you're funding projects that have been properly vetted.
That definitely adds confidence. So where does the money actually go? Can you give us some concrete examples of the types of projects you might fund through this platform?
Sure. They offer a mix, a global portfolio. You've got high-tech stuff like direct air capture facilities. Think machines literally sucking CO2 out of the air in places like Iceland and Switzerland.
Wow, okay. Direct removal.
Yep. Then there's the more natural approach. Funding forest restoration, reforestation projects. They mentioned Kenya, Peru, Madagascar, critical biodiversity areas.
Makes sense.
Plus, investments in renewable energy, wind and solar farms in Indonesia, Brazil, India, places trying to shift off fossil fuels.
All right.
Things like methane capture from landfills, or even distributing clean cook stoves to improve energy efficiency. It's a pretty diverse set of solutions.
So it's not just planting trees, it's a whole range.
Yep.
Okay, beyond just offsetting, does the platform help you understand your usage better, manage it over time?
Yeah, it seems designed for that. For the user who wants to track progress, there's an analytics dashboard that breaks down your usage, which AI models you use most, where your footprint is biggest. You can also set specific sustainability goals, like aiming to reduce usage by a certain percent or offset a certain amount each month. And importantly, for a global user base, it supports multiple languages, 10 languages currently, including Chinese, Russian, Japanese.
That covers some huge AI markets. Okay, so how do people actually use this thing right now? And what's coming next?
Right now, it's available as a progressive web app, a PWA. Yeah, basically you access it through your browser, but you can install it like an app. No app store needed. Works on pretty much everything: iPhone, Android, Mac, Windows, Linux. And a neat feature, the tracking part even works offline.
Wait, offline? How does it track AI use if you're not connected? AI needs the internet, right?
Good question. The AI interaction needs the internet, yeah. But the PWA is clever. It can apparently cache the usage data, like the model, the duration, the token count, locally on your device while you're working offline. Then, as soon as you reconnect, it syncs that cache data, calculates the carbon impact, and adds it to your total, so you don't lose tracking even if your connection drops.
That's pretty smart. Makes it much more reliable. But it sounds like they want to make tracking even easier in the future.
Exactly. The next big thing on the roadmap is a browser extension. The goal there is almost zero effort from the user. It'll have auto detection, so it just knows when you're using ChatGPT or DeLi or whatever. One-click login to confirm, a real-time counter right in your browser, showing your carbon ticking up. And even smart reminders to nudge you if you forget to log something. It's all about making it almost invisible, but always present.
Okay, that covers individual users, but really the big carbon footprint comes from large-scale use, right? Businesses, other tech platforms integrating AI. How does myAiOffset get them on board?
Yeah, the enterprise angle is key. They offer ways for other platforms or SaaS tools to build the tracker right in, using things like iframe widgets, React components, or a full API. And the pitch to these partners seems pretty smart. It boils down to 2 things: zero hassle and a financial incentive.
Zero hassle, okay. But what's the incentive? Are they paying platforms to add this?
Sort of. They offer a revenue share. Partners get a commission, looks like 5 to 10%, on any offsets their users buy through the integrated tool.
So the platform itself can actually make money from promoting sustainability.
Exactly. And the zero maintenance part is crucial too. myAiOffset handles all the tricky carbon calculations, the offset marketplace, the verification. The partner just plugs it in.
So the pitch is basically add this feature, attract users who care about sustainability, who might be valuable customers anyway, make some money from their offsets, and you don't have to build or manage any of the complicated carbon accounting stuff yourself.
Precisely. It turns what could be seen as a compliance headache into potentially a competitive advantage and a revenue source.
Okay, let's wrap this up. We've seen the carbon cost of AI is frankly huge, maybe heading towards aviation levels, and tools like myAiOffset are trying to drag that cost out of the shadows, make it visible, trackable, and manageable using verified offsets like Gold Standard and VCS.
Right. And that brings us to the final thought to leave you with. If big companies are starting to build this kind of carbon tracking right into their AI tools, partly for revenue share, partly because users might demand it, how long before this isn't just a feature, but the standard expectation? How long until every AI platform you use is expected to show you its carbon cost by default? Something to think about. You now have the background to start looking for and maybe even asking for these kinds of features in the AI tools you choose.